Well, hello, everybody. It's Dr. Carmen Bryant, and this is Car Chronicles. How you guys doing? You doing all right? Well, come on, let's do this. So you guys know I have a conference coming up on July 27th, but I also want to tell you about the Narcissist Abuse Survivors Summit. I'm looking at it down here. The Narcissist Abuse Survivors Summit, which is June 1st, which is this Saturday, and is UK time, 2 p.m. So I know Pacific Standard Times is 8 hours ahead of us. So 2 p.m., which is 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that means if it's 6 a.m. So if it's 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, then Central Standard Time, that's 2 hours. That would be, hold on, let me think, 8 hours. So that's 6 hours ahead of Central Standard Time and 5 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time. But it is the Narcissist Abuse Survivors Summit, and it is free to everybody. Go to Eventbrite and go to the Narcissist Abuse Survivors Summit, June 1st, 2 p.m. UK time, and go register for this free event. I believe there are 16 speakers, and I have been invited to be one of the speakers on the summit, but it is hosted by Suzanne Smart and Marcia Hilton. Now, Marcia, I'm sorry, but it is hosted by Suzanne Smart and Marcia Hilton in the UK, the beautiful land of the UK. But it will be a live event, and it is a free event for all of you to go and watch. It is in the UK, the Narcissist Abuse Survivors Summit 2024. Go register on Eventbrite. Go look up Narcissist Abuse Survivor Summit. Go register and get you a spot. And it is a free event. Then I have my event coming up on July 27th, which is a Saturday at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It will be 100% online due to my schedule. It will be 100% online with the outstanding, awesome speakers that I have for this event. And I thank them so much for being a part of this event, but you don't want to miss it. Go register on overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com. And this year we are talking about breaking generational cycles, breaking generational trauma. And for those of you that have been in this situation, some of you grew up in a household full of abuse, substance abuse, verbal, psychological abuse, any kind of abuse, narcissist abuse. Some of you guys realize that your parents were narcissists, one or the other or both, and you grew up in a household and you were traumatized. And what happened is you went back out into this world, and as Tasha Leland says so eloquently, when you leave home hungry, you go into the world starving. And you wonder how these cycles continue, because now you're looking at your children, you see your children repeating the same cycles as you did. And you go out there and you're looking for something that you did not get from home. And the things that you didn't get at home, you didn't get the love, you didn't get the affirmation, you didn't get hugs, you didn't get touch. And so you're desperate for that type of stuff. And so here comes a narcissist that gives you all the things that you're craving, and you're back into a situationship where you have been totally abused, psychological abuse, physiologically abused. And what most people don't understand is how much this psychological abuse, not even just the physical abuse, we know that physiologically affects you, but how the psychological abuse is connected to a physiological damage, meaning, neurological damage, brain damage, health, autoimmune system issues, all these things play a role in it. And now you're watching your own children. They have the same coping skills as you, because they grew up in a home with a parent that had PTSD, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And you're noticing that they picked up on your coping skills, or they have also picked up on the type of relationships that situationships that you have come out of. And now you're watching your children either go through the exact same thing that you went through, or even worse. It is amped up. And now you're concerned over your grandchildren. Well, the buck stops with you. I think that was right. But you have to nip it in the bud. There we go. Not nip it in the butt, but nip it in the bud. You have to nip it in the bud. It is time. In order to change generational cycles, you have to do something that has never been done before. And when you do something that has never been done before, it is very hard, it's complicated, it's emotionally complicated, it's psychologically complicated, and And it's the hardest thing you ever have to do. But now you're doing something, but you're doing something for the future. You're doing something to change the future. You know, and I've talked about this before. We got a younger generation now that really does not have the skill set to teach and raise children as it was in the past. Now, did they do everything right in the past? No, because we are still dealing with the trauma and the drama of the past. And we're having to learn how to balance this out. You know, but now you have a younger generation having children, and that these children have no sense of respect. They have this sense of entitlement. You know, you're raising up these children that are hated by people around them, and then you want to fight on behalf of your kids. You want to make up excuses. You know, I've talked about this before. You want to make up excuses. You want to protect them. Some of you are guilt parenting. Some people are not even parenting at all. They're assuming that the kids are supposed to learn by themselves, and you're not teaching them anything because you didn't learn anything. You know, these children are going out entitled. They're going out, and you're causing your children to be hated by society. You know, because you're not putting your foot down, and you're scared to parent. You are scared of these little kids, and these kids are running your house. You know, but we're going to be talking about all about this during this conference. A lot of you guys have been asking me questions even about narcissists within the church, narcissists in the pulpit, narcissists as pastors. What does the church say about domestic violence? What does the church say about divorce, separation, you know, abuse, sexual abuse? You know, what I've heard a lot of pastors, a lot of the pastors that I admire, specifically like my mother, Apostle Helen Sadler, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Bishop R.C. Blakes. A lot of them were saying that the way that they grew up, you know, the first thing you do, you don't believe in divorce. And so you teach people how to be together, disregarding the fact that when they leave your presence, they're going home and they're being abused. Children are being violated in any possible way you can think of. They're violated by the perverts that you're sending them home to. You know, there's no sense of sending someone to a shelter, sending them to get domestic violence assistance, sexual assault assistance. You know, it's just pray about it. What are you doing that's not right? You're not praying enough. Go back home. And I remember my mother telling a story about one of the ministers that was in her church, where the elders were telling her to go home, pray about it, and stick together. And her husband unalived her in front of her children, threw her body parts over the balcony. Trigger warning. I know it's kind of late to say that, but, you know, but now you're going to have, you know, my mother, Apostle Helen Sadler, with a lot of those questions that you're asking about what does the church say, you know, about domestic violence. What about narcissists in the church? What about narcissists in the pulpit? Now you get to hear her talk about it, and you can ask questions, but you don't want to miss it. July 27th at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 5 p.m. We're going to be 100% online. Go to overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com. Get your ticket or email me, drcarmenbryant@outlook.com, and I'll send you an invoice so you can pay. It's a nominal fee. It doesn't cost a whole lot to be there, but I really want you guys to be there to support, and for the free summit this Saturday. It is the Narcissist Abuse Survivors Summit 2024 in the UK. It will be 100% online. Go to Eventbrite and look for the event. You can go to my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. I think it's on TikTok as well. And go look at the link so that you can go and register. And make sure you register for my conference, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, 4th Annual Narcissist Abuse Conference, Breaking Generational Cycles, Breaking Generational Trauma. We got to stop this, but we have to be more aware. And people don't like to be told when they're making mistakes. People don't like constructive criticism because it's too connected to the abuse that they had received in the past. But be there. And I'm looking forward to seeing each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your support, and you guys go be great.